Ma'am, why has this barn been locked since 1991?
I didn't ask for help. Please just leave it exactly where he left it.
The city flagged this. It's an $800 fine. Mary, let me clean this before the tow truck arrives.
Please, don't touch it. If you clean it, he's gone.
Then they'll take it anyway. We have to save his memory.
Mary, let me clean this before the tow truck arrives. Because if we don't act now, the history inside this barn will be lost forever. In Evanston, Illinois, a non-operational vehicle kept in a visible structure can be fined up to $850 and removed by force. Within 7 days, according to city code enforcement. When I first stepped onto the property, the silence was heavy, broken only by the sound of Mary's wooden cane clicking against the gravel as she approached me. She is 84 years old, a retired school teacher who spent 40 years shaping young minds. But now her own world had shrunk to the size of this decaying red barn. Her hands were trembling visibly as she gripped the handle of her cane, her eyes fixed on the massive, dust-caked silhouette of the 1972 Plymouth Satellite. Sebring that had sat untouched since the summer of 1991, the car was a ghost from a different era, buried under a thick gray crust of barn-grime cobwebs and decades of forgotten memories. Mary looked at me with tears welling in her eyes and whispered that she didn't ask for anyone to come here, begging me to just leave the car exactly where he had left it so many years ago. This wasn't just a machine to her. It was the last physical connection to her late husband, the man who drove her to church every Sunday morning in this very seat. He was meticulous, having the engine tuned up every 6 months like clockwork, keeping the receipts in the glove box as a testament to his care. Since the day he passed away, Mary couldn't bear to turn the key or even wipe the windows, because she felt that his fingerprints were still somewhere on the steering wheel or the chrome door handles. I had to gently explain to her that if we didn't start the cleaning process immediately, the city would send a heavy-duty tow truck to drag it to a scrapyard where it would be crushed into a cube of nameless metal. I promised her right then that we wouldn't restore it to look like a showroom floor model. We would only preserve the soul of what he left behind with the utmost respect. As we began the work, the micro-details were truly heartbreaking to witness. When I opened the heavy driver's side door, a puff of stagnant air escaped, smelling of 3 decades of dry rot and decaying upholstery foam. I found a small mouse corpse curled up near. The brake pedal and the distributor cap was missing several wires where rodents had made a nest. Mary stood just a few feet away, her breathing slow and hitched, watching as I used a soft brush to clear away the top layer of soot. Her hand reached out instinctively to touch the fender, her fingers leaving a trail in the dust, and for the first time, we saw the original mustard gold paint peeking through the amateur brown respray that had been done years before. We worked with agonizing slowness, using pressurized steam to lift the grime without scrubbing away the character of the car. We weren't just washing metal and glass. We were bringing a husband's last promise back into the light of the modern world. I spent hours polishing only the chrome bumpers and the hammerhead shark-style grille, wanting to give her a glimpse of the beauty her husband had fallen in love with. When the metal finally caught the afternoon sun for the first time in 35 years, the look on Mary's face wasn't one of dramatic sorrow, but of pure, quiet relief, as if a weight had been lifted from her soul. She reached out with a shaky hand, touched the vinyl top. And for the first time in over 20 years, she finally opened the door again to sit in the seat where she once felt safest. Comment where you are watching from tonight. Would you clean a car like this to save it from the city? Or would you leave it untouched as a sacred memory? God lets the memory stay for a reason, so we can remember who we used to be.